Hi, welcome to Data Engineering channel. This video is in language English, and if you want the same video in Telugu and Tamil, you can find the link in the description box of this video. Myself, Gautam, I work as a senior data engineer in a leading product-based company. In this Data Engineering 2.0 master course, we are going to discuss lots of data-related technologies and on-demand data engineering technologies. Okay, let's get into the topic.
Okay, so let's get into the topic. So first, let's discuss about what is big data. Okay, so even before getting into what is big data, first let's just look into what is data, right? So what is data? A collection of information is called data, right? So what is information? So information means, like, as I told you, it's like the data. So collection of information, right? So imagine that I'm just sharing my information with you, my name and where I'm working and my LinkedIn URL, Instagram user ID, and I'm just sharing a lot of these details, right? And that's an information, and I'm just sharing that with you. As a human, once you receive the data, what you will do? What is the first thing that you do is you will store the data, right? So once you store the data, imagine that you stored my name in your brain, and you are just after a couple of days somewhere in the public place, like you are just seeing me coming over there, and immediately your brain does something to get my name, and that is processing, right? So your brain does processing with the data, whatever it's stored in your brain, to just get my name out, and then you'll say like, hi Gautam, right? That's an outcome. So with data, we do two things. One is storage and another one is processing. And under processing, we do have so many types of processing, like data transformation, data load, data testing, data scheduling, data security. There are lots of processing types with respect to the data. And I'll be covering that in a separate video, like types of data layers as a separate video. I'll just cover it to you in a different video. Okay. So except storage, whatever you do with data, we call it as processing. Okay. So now imagine there is another case 2. Okay, so this is, we call it as case 1 and this is case 2. I'm just giving an information to you. Imagine my name is very big that you couldn't store. Okay, so you couldn't store, and so you couldn't process also, right? Because there is nothing to process. There is no data stored, right? So why you couldn't store my data? Because the name seems to be very big and your brain doesn't have the capacity to store. Right, so you are getting problem with both storage and processing. P for problem. Right, okay. Now case 3, same. I'm just giving a data, my name. So it's, even though it's a big name, but you have the capacity to store the data in your brain. So there were some like issues were there, some struggle were there in storing the data, but again you finally successfully stored it. So somehow there is no problem with storage. But when you try to process, right, since the volume of the data is huge and the processing time is taking much longer than expected, so you have a problem with processing but not storage. So now here, if you see in the case 2 and case 3, either you get problem with store, or you get problem with process, or you get problem in both, and then we call this as a problem data, right? We call this as a problem data, and the problem data is nothing but we call it as big data, right? So big data is actually a problem statement. So what is big data? So any problem that we get with respect to the data, and then we can call it as big data problems, right? Okay. So now let's come to problems. As I told you, right? Problems, data problems. So how many data problems we do have? We do have so many data problems, 50 plus data problems or 100 plus data problems we do have, right? It's just not one problem, right? So we have problem with storage, we have problem with processing, we have problem with testing the data, we have problem in transferring the data, we have problem with respect to the memory, and etc, right? There are so many problems, and these problem has been denoted in the market in a different word, so that the word should start with V. For example, storage means volume, right? And for example, transfer speed means velocity, right? And imagine that you have structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Structured data means comma separated. Semi-structured is a log file. Unstructured is audio, video, images. You have different types of data, and there is no such technology currently. You have to process all these different types of technology, or you have a problem with your current technology to process different types of data, right? And we have to say we have variety problem, or you can say simply processing issue with processing the data. My tech stack doesn't able to process, right? So here people created a trend so that all these problem names should start with the word letter V, and we call it as 3 V's in big data. And that is not just limited to 3 V's. We do have 50 V's, 100 V's, because as I told you, we do have so many problems already, right? Okay, so somewhere you would have heard this 3 V's in big data, but that is very old. It's not just three now. It's we do have so much problem like value, viability, volatility. So there are lots of problems we do have. Okay, so next thing, see, whenever I go for some meetups, right? So the very first question to the universities or colleges or meetups, the very first question I used to ask, what is big data? Right, but we have already seen the answer. The problem, any problem that you get with the data, and we can call it as a big data. But this answer I won't get from the audience. The very first thing, the frequent answers that I used to get is people used to say volume. Okay, large volume of data, or like storage issues. So these are the two things that I always used to get from the audience when people used to say large volume of data, and then we call it as big data, or only when we have huge volume of data and then only we should enter into big data technology, something like that. So then my next question will be, can you tell me the number volume? When you say volume, right, what is the number? Can you tell me that? Okay, so one guy says it's 100 GB, another guy say 1 TB, another guy say petabyte, and the other guy say yottabytes, ketabyte, right? Zettabyte and scatabyte. So I'm getting different answers. Even some people will say MB and KBs also, even bytes. So I'm getting different numbers, but my question is just one, but I'm getting different answers. And that proves there is no solid number to denote this is the volume of big data. There is no such a solid, right? So now imagine there is a company like called CTS, and there is a company called HCL. So CTS writes a blog in their official website, a use case, saying that we use big data, and the amount of volume that we process per hour is 100 GB, right? So HCL also says like, okay, HCL write their own tech blog, and in the blog they say we use big data technologies, and then they say like we have like 250 petabytes of data per hour, right? So they have different volumes, but they still use the same technology. So again, that proves volume is like not the only problem, right? So why I just pulled this topic all of a sudden, this volume is the biggest concern for me when someone says volume is the answer for the question, what is big data? See, people think volume is the only criteria or the only problem to enter into big data, but that is wrong. Volume is one out of n problems, but still people used to think volume because the name itself says big data. So people used to think it's all about volume only. See, I use big data, but my problem is not volume at all. My problem is speed in transferring the data. Like I want to enhance the performance of my processing tech stack, the processing part, but never volume is never be a problem for me, right? So my problems are completely different, but still I use big data. So when someone asks you what is big data, you can tell a different definition, like big data technologies can fix any types of data problems, and then you can say volume is one example, velocity is one example, variety is one example, but never say that volume is the only problem that we always prefer to get into big data technologies. Don't say that, right? So that will not impress anyone in the interview or when you talk to a client, right? So you have to be, if an experienced person says volume will not be the very first problem, the experienced people will never take the volume as the first part, right? They'll say the real problem. So volume is not always the only problem, okay? It's one among n problems. So that's what we have to understand here. So let me tell you an interview scenario that I have attended a company. Okay, let me consider that company as A. Let's consider that company as A, and I'm Gautam. So Gautam attended an interview in a company. So the interviewer asked me one question. So what is the volume of data that you process in your current project? I said, okay, I process 10 GB per hour. And the interviewer was, obviously, he was like, I can see his face. He was not satisfied with my answer. I asked him what happened. He said like 10 GB is very small. For this, why you are entering into big data? And then again, I told him that volume was not a concern for me. For me, the processing speed is a concern, and that's why I just we as a project, we as a team, we entered into big data solutions. And but still, he was not satisfied. And I asked him a question. I told him, "Excuse me, can I ask you one question?" He said, "Yeah." It was like a polite conversation. Anyway, so he said, "Yes, you can ask a question." I said, "So imagine that you are attending an interview in Google. Okay, the same question the interviewer asks to you, what will be your answer?" The interviewer said, "I'll say like 100 GB per hour is the volume that I process." So Google as a company, they process like petabytes, and for a minute they process gigabytes and petabytes of data. And to them, this particular guy tells like, I process 100 GB per hour, right? For them, this is going to be a small data. So I just told them, see, when I told you 10 GB, you are not satisfied. But when you say 100 GB to Google, do you think that they will be get satisfied with your number? And then he was like, understood. I hope so. Maybe he could have tested me, but I've just wanted to say this scenario. This happened 10 years back in an interview, as a senior most person interviewed me. So it's always like, why I'm telling this, right? Because people used to get panic and get confused, or they used to underestimate the real volume they actually use in their current project. They used to tell me, Gautam, so what if I just say 10 GB in the interview? The interviewer may get upset or disappointed, right? So I just put up a story that I'll tell them that I process 100 petabytes of data or terabytes of data. Then I'll say, no, don't do that. Just say the real numbers, and that's enough. But again, people are not satisfied, and then tell the story, ask the same question, so they will understand. Make them understand. Right, that's the reality that we have to. So even when you are connecting with a client or someone, you should be like stand in that particular point, okay. So next thing, I just wanted to tell you one more interesting fact. So big data. So I was talking with my friend, and I told him I'm a big data engineer. And he asked me like, okay, big data means problem, right? So that means you are a problem engineer. So he was asked, and he was smiling at me, and I just told him that big data is a problem statement name, and that's right. Right. So big data is actually a problem statement name, and that's right. So they gave the problem statement name itself to the market. So that means big data technologies, big data jobs, so big data solutions. Right. So they gave the market name itself the problem statement name, and that's why like people used to call it as big data developer, big data jobs, and big data solution, etc. Okay. So now let's come to the important point, like what is data engineering then? Because people used to say big data, data engineering, so both the words, and what's exactly the difference between these two, right? So from 2010 to 2013, roughly 13 to 14, people used to call big data. And later point of time, so they started creating a new terminology, that is data engineering, and they created a new market called data engineering, and the roles got created as data engineers. So previously we had roles like big data engineering roles in the company. The recruitment goes with that role, and now it's all about like data engineering, right? So data engineering has so many domains. So one such important domain is big data. Okay, so one such important domain under data engineering is big data. Similarly, if you work on any data related technologies other than big data, you can still call yourself as data engineer. For example, you work in Oracle, so you work in MySQL, so or you just work in NoSQL modern databases, or you work in Informatica. So Informatica is an ETL tool. So if you are not aware of what all these Oracle, MySQL, NoSQL, or Informatica, just leave it. It's all like, just imagine they all like yet another data technologies, or you can consider that as A, B, C, D for now. Right. So data engineering, like all these data technologies, comes under the umbrella of data engineering, and people started calling a generic term as data engineers. And one more thing I just wanted to tell you here. So whatever I told you is the reality. Okay, the real definition of data engineering is not just working on big data. It can be any data tech stack. But how market used to see this data engineering is, so if you say to someone that you are a data engineer, by default, the market thinks that you are aware of big data also. Imagine that I'm an Oracle developer and I'm just projecting myself as a data engineer. But still what market expects from me is they expect that I should know big data also. So they consider big data, knowing big data is mandatory in when you say that you are a data engineer. That's how market thinks. So that means, so whenever you say data engineering, people think that you should know big data as well. And when you say that you know big data, then people by default they think that you should know Hadoop and Spark, or you already know Hadoop and Spark. So in big data, we have more than 50 plus technologies, that is 50 plus solutions. The top two leading solutions are Hadoop and Spark. And in this complete data engineering master course, we are going to discuss deep into this Hadoop and Spark systems as well. And Hadoop, we do have so many ecosystems, that components, I can say components. So sub tech stacks under Hadoop, and similarly, we have sub tech stack under Spark as well. So components are there, and we will be discussing that in detail in the upcoming videos. Okay. And being a data engineer, people always used to think that you know only SQL. No, that is false. So we as a data engineer, we used to write SQL, we used to write code that is like Java, Python, Scala, and we also use Linux command, shell scripts, and etc. So 50% code and 50% SQL. It will be in that way. We are not always going to write only SQL. And what is the day-to-day activity of a data engineer? In simple term, I can tell you this. Data engineers used to work on data problems. The problem could be anything, as I told you before. Some problems I've told you, right? So any data problems that comes, and I'll be working with those data problems to fix it with some solutions. Like I may use Spark or Hadoop or even Oracle or MySQL, some tech stack I use to fix that problem. Right. And again, to get into big data, so you have a project, so you have a technology A, this is your current technology. Imagine this is some very old technology, and you just migrated it to big data, and someone is asking you why you migrated, what made you to migrate, right? You can say I have so and so problem, and that was not able to perform in the technology that currently I'm having, and that's why I migrated to big data. You can say like that. It's not about that you have to meet the specific criteria with respect to volume. As I told you, volume is one of the problem, it's not the only problem. And then, so how about the job market? See, data engineering is evergreen domain as of now, even though we have all this AI stuff, but still data engineering is an evergreen. You can see a lot of job openings and LinkedIn jobs and Naukri. So the recruitment lag is happening. That is because of AI investment, not AI itself. And as a data engineer, we will be also using a lot of AI stuff, and I'll be teaching you all that in the upcoming videos as well. Right. So that's all for this particular session. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. If you really like this video, please do share your learning experience in a LinkedIn as a post and tag me in that. And please don't forget to subscribe my channel. And I have shared my LinkedIn and Instagram profile link in the description box of this video where you can follow me. And I'm there to teach you data engineering in a very easy and simple way. Don't worry. Not just data engineering master course, I even have Python master course, SQL master course, and Linux master course, and many other master courses available in my YouTube channel. Please go and have a look. Once again, thanks for watching, guys.